Hi, my name is Vogue Robinson. I am your Clark County Poet Laureate, and I'm here today with Stephan Murray, who is the author of The Chapel of Eternal Love. Stephan, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. Thank you first for having me on your show, Vogue. And yes, The Chapel of Eternal Love is a series of short stories about a fictional Las Vegas wedding chapel. And the reader gets to spend an entire day at the wedding chapel with all the couples that come and go. And we learn how we become to be the marriage capital of the world.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
So, I would love to have you read a little bit of it. Would you do that for us today?
Sure.
Sweet.
The background of the chapter that I've chosen is the lady is a widow. Her husband was a hotel magnate, and she's inherited all these hotels all over the world, but she's obviously a little bit lonely now. So, Prue always enjoyed playing baccarat when she was in Las Vegas. Often when she was feeling particularly lonely, she would signal downstairs to the casino, leave her penthouse suite, and head for the baccarat room, where a seat was always reserved should she decide to participate at a moment's notice, which was often. Without asking, her favorite cocktail, a Cosmopolitan, was always brought to her spot at the table. One evening she was barely seated when she looked across the table and observed a young man, the epitome of a Giorgio Armani model. Chad was impeccably dressed, with well-manicured hands and a suave, rugged masculinity. He had her favorite combination of dark hair and penetrating blue eyes. As he held her gaze, she was embarrassed by her heartbeat and tried in vain to ignore the man, who was clearly several years her junior. She endeavored to concentrate on her card game, but felt his focused eyes undressing her from afar. She casually glanced at him and sensed how much he wanted her. She was surprisingly excited, flattered by his obvious attention. He flirted seductively, raising his glass to her whenever she won. She noticed how much he was losing at the table, and admired the nonchalant manner in which he seemed to handle his losses. To lose so graciously exuded class. She had never seen Chad at her hotel before, and her intuition and radar dictated she run a routine background check. The next day, Prue was disappointed, and yet somewhat not surprised with a report from her detective. Chad was very well known among many casinos as a very heavy gambler, whose debts had been covered over the years by a variety of extremely wealthy widows. A knife struck in her heart. He was the sole person with whom she had an ounce of interest since the loss of her husband, and she discovered that he was nothing more than a common gigolo, a man who earned his living off the misery of women. She thanked her loyal detective for his fast work. And then there's more in the story.
Nice. I didn't expect that part. So like different people describe a gigolo different ways. Like that was pretty biting, a biting description. So if someone wants to pick up a copy of your book, where can they find it?
They can visit my website, www.thechapelofeternallove.com. It's also available in the libraries, at all 3 Barnes & Nobles, and several of the Hallmark stores throughout Las Vegas.
It's phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your work with us.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, Vogue. It's been a real pleasure being with you.
Cool. And if you want more information about poetry in the Valley or learning more about local writers, you can always go to poetrypromise.org. Thank you.